Hello everyone. I bought a cheap Ferrari in Russia. Now I will show you how it was, and now I will show you what I managed to buy. But also a little later, I will tell you how much it cost. But it all started with a call from my friend. He said that in Russia, in St. Petersburg, sold an interesting Ferrari for very, very inexpensive. But there's a problem. The problem is that it's been on the street for 3 years. 3 years in the open air. So, naturally, it's affected its technical condition. Now we have already paid for it and are taking it away, and we are putting it on a car carrier to bring it to Moscow. But, as you can see, we already have the car in Moscow. Now, we will try to start it. Because first, we bought it cheap, because no one could start it. Then we managed to do it, but as soon as we brought it to Moscow, it stopped starting. It doesn't respond to the ignition key at all, but now I'll show you the condition of the car and tell you what we're going to do with it. But naturally, we're going to be restoring it. 2003 Ferrari 2060 Spider. It's just under 50,000 kilometers, but it's got a lot of defects. The glass, the headlights, you can see it's in very bad shape. The bodywork, the paintwork is peeling. I'm trying to show you right now. You see the little craters? That's some kind of paint problem. We're probably going to have to revarnish the whole body. But we've got a price tag. We bought this car very cheaply, but you can see there's a lot of defects on it too. Now, of course, the most important thing is to start the car, because if it doesn't start, it will be a problem. But another problem is that in 2 days, I have a truck to take this car to Europe. It is necessary to at least make it start, otherwise there will be a problem, because the delivery of a car that does not start will naturally cost more, because it requires additional forces. But look what you can buy if you take the risk. For this car, I gave 35,000 euros. A lot or a little, but time will tell, because we do not know how much we will spend on it. But what's good about this car? The fact that it's the last year of the Ferrari 360, it's a classic model. This is the Spider version. This is the black interior, but I've just shown you the bumper sticker. I'm sure when we take it off, there'll probably be some sort of defect. We'll probably have to replace the sunshade on the roof. I don't know how much it will cost yet. Let me know in the comments. Maybe you have this information. But now, I will show you the condition of the interior. This is of course a very sad picture, because the interior is very, very dirty, but it also has a lot of defects. You see, there are some strange caps. But, as you can see, the car has not been loved, that's for sure. But I'm also going to show you what's inside. But, again, the question of how to start it, how to get it running, has not gone anywhere. And that's what we're planning to do now, so we can get it done in 2 days before the car carrier arrives. Look, there's mold on the leather. That's very bad. We'll probably have to replace the leather, but there's a bunch of weird wires sticking out of the seat. We gotta do something about that too. Look at all this mold. I think if you look closely, you might find some kind of snake in the cabin. There could be, but it's still very bad when a car has been on the street for 3 years. That's very bad. And it was not parked in some warm country like Monaco, it was parked in Russia, in St. Petersburg. So you understand that this is very bad. But again, what's good about this project? Because there are a lot of spare parts for the Ferrari 360. There's a lot of them on the aftermarket. So I really hope we don't have to spend money buying new parts. And of course, the most important question after we get it running is to sort out the bodywork. Because I don't think there's going to be any problems with the interior. Well, and of course, there will be problems with the suspension. I checked the clutch when we bought the car, the clutch is still good, so there are no problems with that. Naturally, there will be, I think, some faults in the suspension, but it's a Ferrari, because in a Ferrari, especially an old one, the suspension is a consumable item. Especially the linkages, the ball joints, I mean, all that stuff. Of course, you might have to change. But as you know, the 360 Ferrari is a very good investment model because it's loved. They sell a lot of them. They buy a lot of them. In general, there's a good market for them. So I think we'll make a good profit on this car. Well, I've opened the trunk. Let me show you what's inside the trunk. It's a complete mess, of course. There's some spare parts lying around. But, strangely enough, there's even a service book. That's very good. But there's also an awning cover for the car. That's also very good. Look at the condition of the cabin filter. Well, it obviously has not been changed, probably, for the last 15 years. And of course, there's dirt and dirt everywhere. But it's not too difficult to deal with. But here's the other problem. The cars that were operated in Russia, especially in those years, had a very difficult criminal situation. Therefore, Ferrari owners very often put different alarm systems and security systems. And these security systems were very often created in Russia. These are not international brands, so the problem is that there is no manual, there is no documentation for them. And now we have a suspicion that the car does not start because the alarm system has broken. Here's an idea. We will now try to remove the alarm system and then try to start the car. Because we've already had it start once when we looked at it. But I'm hoping we can do it again. Because if we do not start it, I do not know what to do with it. We may have to sell it in Russia. But I wouldn't want to, because in Russia, they are much cheaper than in Europe. But once again, I show you how it looks. By the way, I don't even know if the roof works. But it's important because it's a convertible. But right now, our employee is just dismantling the alarm system. By the way, just a reminder for those who don't know, we do Ferrari, we do Lamborghini. Look what's left of the alarm system. We just threw it in the dumpster. Now we service these cars. If you have any questions in Russia about these brands, you can always write to me and I think I can help you. We also solve very complicated issues with old Ferrari, old Maserati and Lamborghini, and we can come to you if you want us to. But write to me about it. We can talk separately. The prices, I think you will be very happy with. But let me remind you that we have been working for more than 20 years, so we have a huge experience in these cars. But let's get back to our Spider. You know, this dismantling of the system has helped a lot. And now the car has started. Can you imagine my joy? I now have a red convertible that starts. But the roof doesn't work yet. I got to do something about that. It's got a very bad body. The suspension is in average condition. The interior is also in bad condition, but I think I'll make my money on it, because for 35,000 euros, but now maybe you can only buy a Volkswagen Golf, but you can't buy a Ferrari for that money. Of course, I will have to spend money on documents, on customs, on technical inspection, but still, it will be profitable, because this is not my first project, and before that, everything worked out well for us. But again, the problem now is that there used to be a lot of these cars in Russia. Here, they are not very popular, because mostly people here buy such cars up to 3 years old, up to 5 years old. An old Ferrari is not valued in Russia, so you can sometimes find variants like this. This is certainly not an option from Japan, but again, it is much closer and cheaper to bring it here, but it is also much cheaper to buy cars here than Japan. And that's a good business idea too. So, if you find something in Russia, you can contact me and I will help you with the inspection of the car, but I will also help you to bring it to your country. That can be done as well. We also have a representative office in Korea. We are also in the business of sourcing and buying old Ferraris, old Maserati, and old Lamborghinis in Korea. So, if you have any ideas about Korea, you can contact us. We will do everything turnkey, and the car will come to your house fully ready, but you will only have to wash it, tidy it up, and customs clearance, and get your documents. But you see, the car is on its way. I'm on my way to the car carrier right now to load it up. I'll show you how we move the car. Now we'll load it up and it will be on its way to Europe. Actually, it's not such a bad car. But especially when it started to work, you understand, the mood begins to rise sharply. Well, this is how our car carrier looks like. It is closed so that the car does not get any damage. Now, the hard part is getting it in, because it's very narrow. But a Ferrari, and an old one at that, you know, there's a lot of problems. You could break the clutch, it could burn out. So, we're going to load it very carefully now, but after that, it's on its way. By the way, the rear spoiler you see is a Jamin, and it's an original Jamin. To be honest, I don't like it. I think I'm going to take it off, so if anyone wants to buy it, you can message me too. I'm willing to sell it to you separately. And write in the comments, how do you like the colour of the car in general? I think a red Ferrari is a classic. I think that the awning should be made in a different colour. Write in the comments too, the colour of the awning you like or do not like. I think a black colour up top of the roof would look better here, but either could be beige. Most likely I think I'll be doing a beige awning. It will look more beautiful, because the red awning blends in with the red body and doesn't look very nice. But again, this is my personal opinion, so write in the comments as you think, what colour awning is better for me to make. Well, and when we will do all the work, I will naturally shoot and show it to you. Well, that's all for now. Goodbye, everyone.